In Washington, the same game is played year after year. The president requests a massive defense budget. Lawmakers don't want to be seen as soft on national security, and defense lobbyists exploit that. Congress then falls into line and passes an expensive defense package. And then we do the same thing again the next year. That's the game that lawmakers and lobbyists play with our tax dollars. Today, we are going to play a new game. Welcome to Jeopard DOD, where our witnesses will uncover waste, missing guardrails, and the enablers who make our defense budget balloon. Witnesses, you'll pick a category and a point amount. I'll read you a prompt, and just like in regular Jeopardy, you'll give the answer in the form of the question. For example, if I read, the Congresswoman hosting Jeopard DOD, you will say, who is Katie Porter? Let's get started. Mr. Tenaglia. Enablers for 100. A president who called how much we spend on defense crazy, but let defense spending grow by over $100 billion in one term.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Really? You don't know who called the defense budget crazy? Who is Donald Trump? Mr. Mansfield.
Enablers for 200.
Enablers for 200. A member of Senate leadership who recently said funding the Pentagon at $886 billion would mean defense is radically underfunded.
I don't know the answer.
Who is Mitch McConnell? Mr. Khan, you can easily be the winner here.
I'll take waste for 300.
Great choice. Waste for 300. Ineffective DOD assets that cost about $600 million to build and are now being decommissioned before the end of their useful life.
I'm drawing a blank there, sorry.
What are littoral combat ships? You're familiar with this program. Mr. Tenaglia.
Enablers for 300.
Pardon me?
Enablers for 300.
Enablers for 300. Individuals who get rich while pushing to overspend our tax dollars.
I don't know.
Who are defense lobbyists? Mr. Mansfield.
Waste for 200.
Waste for 200. I'm really counting on you here, Mr. Mansfield. A program that is $183 billion over budget and 10 years behind schedule.
What is the Joint Strike Fighter program?
What is the what?
Is it the Joint Strike Fighter program?
What? That's correct. What is the F-35 program? Correct. Mr. Khan.
Missing guardrails for 200.
Missing guardrails for 200. The institution that has authorized more defense spending than the president requested for the current fiscal year. Who has authorized more defense spending than the president requested for this current 2023 fiscal year?
I would say it's the Armed Services Committee.
We'll give you that. Who is? Congress. Mr. Tenaglia, I'd really love to see you get one right here. I'm rooting for you.
Missing guardrails for 100.
Missing guardrails for 100. This one I think you're going to know. A review that every agency has passed except the DOD.
What is an audit?
What is an audit? Correct. Mr. Mansfield.
We'll go with missing guardrails for 300.
Missing guardrails for 300. This is a really good one. The percentage of DOD's assets that it cannot account for.
61%.
61%.
What
So
is 61%?
Huh?
What is 61%?
What is 61%? So I read the question wrong. The percentage of DOD assets that it can account for is 39%. You're right. Cannot account for 61%. Can account for 39. All right, Mr. Khan.
Is that double jeopardy? I'll
Yes.
take 100.
This is it. Waste for 100. DOD assets that have been lost, damaged, or destroyed to the tune of millions of dollars based on a May GAO report. What are spare aircraft parts? We're out of time for Jeopard DOD, and the winner here today should be the American people. Because no matter who uncovers the most waste, the important thing is that we provide long overdue oversight to the taxpayers. Look, politicians and lobbyists play the same spending game year after year, and that is not getting us to a responsible defense budget. Nobody's going to
Mr.
win
Fallon.
until we start playing a new game. I yield back.
That was Katie Porter playing Jeopard DOD, which is brilliant, Katie. I thought that was a lot of fun. Not only watching you be the host, but also the people who were brought before the committee hearing. Kind of fun to watch them actually like take part in that. You could kind of tell that a couple of those guys didn't really care to play the game, which made it a little more entertaining for me to have these guys sit there and play Jeopard DOD. I guarantee you they did not expect to do that today. Now, Katie Porter uses these kind of entertaining techniques, strategies to educate the public. And I feel like I learned quite a bit from just that short clip. The fact that we have a fighter jet program that's $183 billion over budget and years past schedule, that's insane to me. That's utterly insane. And the fact that they've never passed an audit, yeah. I mean, I know we have the nation's security, but we should also have a group that also has clearance who can try to clean up the ship a little bit, if you will. I didn't know that Congress has asked for more funding for the Defense Department than Joe Biden has asked for. And I thought that was really interesting because the GOP and House Republicans, their actions don't align with supporting our troops. They don't support military aid to Ukraine and defending democracy. They cozy up to Vladimir Putin. GOP voters love the guy. Donald Trump cozied up to Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump refused to give cash aid and intelligence and support to Ukraine while Putin was at his border. All because Donald Trump wanted Vladimir Zelensky to launch a bogus investigation into Joe Biden. All of those actions don't line up as pro-military. But Republicans love to buy things. And that's what that is. It's their attempt to buy the idea that they care about the military more than Joe Biden does. No. Don't look at what we've done. Look at our money. And that's just the GOP way. That's why they love Donald Trump so much. Because even the poor people who vote for Republicans, they wish they had that money, right? They wish they could do that. They wish they could buy anything, whatever they wanted to. But they can't. They can't. And the GOP should not get away with trying to buy the idea that they support our American troops more than the Democrats do. Absolutely not. So, and there's actually another video I made today where Jared Moskowitz slammed the GOP for using a Chinese spy who was also an arms dealer who worked with the Iranian regime, using this guy as their whistleblower who was going to blow the lid off of the Biden crime family, and it blew up in their face. Does working with a Chinese spy, is that supporting the American military? Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it. So back to Katie Porter. She does a great job of just keeping us entertained, keeping us on our toes, and teaching us. But there was another representative who spent her time clearly describing what the American taxpayers are missing out on due to all of the waste with the Defense Department budget.
When we dedicate so many of our resources to our military while we nickel and dime our other programs, the least we are owed as transparency and accountability. When our country spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined, we rightfully have high expectations for how that department functions. Yet, year after year, we shovel billions their way, 15% of our total budget. We continue to be disappointed, and the American people are let down. Mr. Tenaglia, how much did the 2023 National Defense Authorization Act authorize for shipbuilding?
I do not have that particular figure. The total amount of contract obligations in
It-
2022 was over $400 billion.
For shipbuilding, it authorized $32.6 billion. Do you know how many school lunches that amount could provide to hungry children in America, where for the 1 in 8 children who go to school hungry, that may be the only meal they get? All of them, and then some. The school lunch program cost $28.7 billion in 2022. Mr. Tenaglia, how much on average does the military spend on Viagra each year?
I don't have that figure, ma'am.
About $41.6 million. Do you know how many bridges in my district of Pittsburgh could be repaired with that amount? About 2. The rebuilding of the Fern Hollow Bridge, which of course collapsed the day that President Biden happened to be coming to Pittsburgh, cost about $25.3 million to rebuild. Mr. Tenaglia, how much did the Department of Defense spend on snow crab and Alaska king crab in 2018?
I do not have that amount.
According to Open the Books, it was $2.3 million. Do you know how much the Pittsburgh City Council spends each year serving the county's unhoused population? Only $1.2 million, but they're certainly not being served Alaska king crabs. According to an investigation by this committee in 2016, the F-35 program specifically raked up hundreds of millions of dollars in added costs due to mismanagement and negatively affected military readiness. Mr. Tenaglia, how much is the F-35 joint program estimated to cost the federal government to produce, operate, and sustain over its lifetime?
I believe the GAO cited that figure. I don't have it in front of me, but we can get that for you.
It's about $1.7 trillion, enough to completely eradicate student loan debt.
Typically, when you're addressing and talking about the Defense Department budget, things can probably get a little wonky and people can tune out. But that is why it's so important that we have representatives like these who are willing to spend the time to try to make thick, dense, convoluted ideas make sense to us as just kind of the regular people. So that's why I made videos about this, because I think it's really important that more Americans understand kind of what we're missing out on and how much of it is due to inefficiencies in a government, in the Defense Department, that should run a lot smoother than they do. I understand these things there's billions of dollars moving around, but with technology and the systems and the software that we have today, this should be a lot more efficient. And if you agree, like the video, share the video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brendan Plank. I make daily videos on Facebook, on YouTube. Be sure to follow those pages and check out tomorrow's video on the channel. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.